Hey, welcome, and today we're doing the highest pot armors in Dungeon Quest, from Desert Temple to Enchanted Forest. So the best set for Desert Temple is Red Knight.
And Templar for Mage. Red Knight's for Warrior.
Yeah, so Templar is for the Mage, and Red Knight is for the Warrior. Now, the highest pot for Red Knight and Templar is 29, and there might be higher, but it's said to be 29.
29's definitely God pot.
Yes, it's highest I've seen. So, let's move on to Winter Outpost. Alright, so now we are on Winter Outpost, and the best armor for Winter Outpost is Ice King's Warrior.
I'm wearing the Warrior as well, but it's Ice King's Mage if it's Mage.
Yes, so it's Ice King's Mage if it's Mage.
And what's the best potential?
So best potential for Winter Outpost Ice Kings is 630 and above.
630's definitely God pot.
Yes, it's definitely God pot. And I guess we'll move on to Pirate Island.
Okay.
Alright, so now we are on Pirate Island, and the best armor for Pirate Island is Godly armor for Warrior and Mage.
And the best potential is like 1,590 and up.
Yes, 1,590 and above. That would be God pot for Godly Warrior or Godly Mage and purple. So let's move on to King's Castle. Alright, so now we have King's Castle, and the best armor for King's Castle is Titan Forest armor for Warrior.
I have a Mage set on.
That's right, and for the Mage. So as you can see,
What's God pot for these?
the God pot for Titan Forge is 3,875 and above. So let's move on to the Underworld. Alright, so now we are on the Underworld. And the best armor for Underworld is the Glorious armor for Mage and Warrior. Now, the best potential for Glorious for purple is 6,600 and above. That would be considered God pot. Now, let's move on to Samurai Palace. Alright, so now we are on Samurai Palace, and the best armor for Samurai Palace is Ancestral Mage armor and Ancestral Warrior armor.
And a God pot for these is
12,000.
12k and above.
12,000 is God pot for Ancestral. Anything above 12,000 is definitely considered God pot. So let's move on. Alright, so now we are on the Canals. And the best armor for Canals is the Overlord's Warrior and the Overlord's Mage. Now, the God pot for Overlord's armor is 23,000 and above. Right here.
Yeah, that's a 23k right there.
So 23,000, like this one or above, is definitely considered God pot. And then 22.8 is pretty good too.
I have a Mage set on.
Yeah, you do have a Mage set on. So anyways, that's the Overlord's Canals. Let's move on to Ghastly Harbor.
Okay.
Alright, so now we're in Ghastly Harbor. And the best armor for Ghastly Harbor is Mythical Mage and the Mythical Warrior. Now, the God pot for Mythical Mage and Mythical Warrior is 47,000 or above. So anything above 47,000 would be considered God pot. Alright, to the next dungeon. Alright, so now we are in Steampunk Sewers, and the best armor for Steampunk Sewers is Warforged Mage armor and Warforged Warrior armor.
I have a Warrior set on.
And I have the Mage set on.
I'm gonna show what mine looks like too.
So let's show what yours looks like. There it is. Now, the best potential God pot for this set, both the Mage and Warrior set, is 94,000, 94k.
94k, well, it's pretty high.
Pretty high. Anything above 94k would be considered God pot.
I personally like the looks of these.
Yeah, I do too. Now, let's move on to here. Alright, so now we are in boss raids. And boss raid has many different armors, although I don't think it really matters which armor it is, it just looks different. What matters is the tier.
So tier 30, of course, is the highest. And what's the god potential for a tier 30?
The highest potential for a tier 30, any armor, mage or warrior, no matter if it's nature, heavenly, stuff like that, the maximum god pot is 236,236k.
Okay.
And anything above 236k would definitely be considered god pot. And again, it does not matter what armor it is, it just has to be tier 30.
Right. Alright.
Right, so now let's move on to Orbital Outpost. So now we are in Orbital Outpost. And the best armor for Orbital Outpost is alien armor. For both mage and the warrior.
I have the mage set on here.
Yeah, you have the mage set and I have the warrior one on. Anyway, the best potential god pot for alien armor, warrior or mage is 460,460k. So anything above 460k would be definitely considered god pot. Alright, so let's move on to the next dungeon. Alright, so now we are in volcanic chambers. So, the best armor for volcanic chambers is Lava King, warrior, and mage. See, I'm wearing the mage set, I'm wearing the warrior set, and the best god pot for Lava King, mage, or warrior is 934,934k. So anything above 934k would definitely be considered god pot. Alright, let's move on to the next dungeon. Alright, so now we are in Aquatic Temple. And the best armor for Aquatic Temple is Triton Warrior armor. And the Triton Mage armor. Now, the god pot for Triton is said to be 1.86 million. Now, the closest I've seen is 1859. It's definitely considered god pot. But even 1859 is god pot.
Absolutely.
Even 1858 is god pot. Alright, now we're moving on to our final dungeon. Alright, so we made it to the final dungeon, Enchanted Forest. Now, of course, the max out is eldenbark for this dungeon. But the highest potential, well, 370 has got to be a great potential.
Yeah, that's definitely god pot. But the highest god pots
has got to be 375.
That is definitely
the maximum god pot.
Yes.